Lot 15.
Okay, so let's have a look at our entry criteria in picture perfect format. So we're going to start off with demand, so we're looking for buys, and on the higher time frame, pro trend. Okay, so when you see me ticking the boxes, are we pro trend? This is kind of what I have in my mind, what we're seeing. Alright, we want to be seeing higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Then when we come back within the previous range, it's important that we're back into the range. I don't want to be taking longs after the breakout. I want to see price pull back. Usually be a refined point of interest somewhere here. I'm happy to be pretty aggressive and just go straight for the 15-minute entry model combined with our 1-minute entry execution, obviously. But yeah, there's no real clean flips or anything we need to see. I just want to see demand, range, order flow, demand, swing structure, order flow, lows holding, highs getting broken, and this is simply trend is your friend. You know, if we start seeing that demand is still serving from these refined points of interest, then we're going to go with the flow, man. I also have, are we serving from a point of interest that created a flip and has inducement? All that good stuff, pro trend as well, because yeah, that's still great. You know, if this has been flipping levels and we've got inducement, we've got a point of interest, and we're pro trend, it's even stronger. So that's nice. But I'm happy to just simply go with range and swing structure, order flow. Okay. So moving over to still in the higher time frame, but now counter trend, and you can see there's a little bit more going on now because we want a bit more confluence because you know we're kind of going against the grain here. So we want to see a bit more confluence. So are we serving from a point of interest that created a flip and has inducement? Okay. So you would see something like, again, we're still looking for buys, we're looking for demand, but you would see like supply creating lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, failing to create a lower low. Okay, coming up, testing this level of supply, which is a strong level because it broke structure. Okay, so it's got to test a strong level of supply. Still fails to create a new low, and then demand breaks supply serve, breaks out. Okay, and what you'll see here is, say this breakout stops, because when the market sees that there's more demand than supply in the market, there'll be a lot of orders and stops underneath the previous low, and that's our liquidity, that's our fuel for our counter trend move. Okay, so we want to be coming down, and like this could be X amount of time, this could be a couple of years, doesn't even matter. Now if we're seeing a strong high time frame setup like this, okay, and we've had all this price action happen, and then we've had supply is actually currently serving. But if we're in a strong point of interest that is like swept liquidity, got inducement, and created a strong flip, then we can go down to our 15-minute entry model combined with our 1-minute entry model. Right, but really important, got inducement, and it's created a flip. Okie doke. So that's our counter trend higher time frame. Okay, so now onto the 15-minute time frame. Now on 15-minute, there's no more pro or counter trend setups, it's just the same setup, either way we're going. Alright, so this is either the supply pulling back into our pro trend range, most recent range, yeah, or this is supply coming into our strong counter trend point of interest. Okay, and it's pretty much the same details as the counter trend. We see supply causing a lower low, a lower high, a lower low, lower high, but failing to create a lower low. You could see a bit of range price action going on here, creating liquidity, like a bit of indecision in the market or fair price, whatever you want to call it. And then supply, which is a strong level of supply because it broke structure. Yeah, it's come up. And now if it's going to continue the trend short on the 15-minute, it would have swept liquidity and create a new lower low, breaking this low here. Right? So it sweeps liquidity, it's got a fair chance by having the fuel to do so, and still fails to create a new low. And demand holds. Now what's happened is demand has actually swept liquidity, mitigated some demand order flow, mitigated our pro trend range, mitigated our counter trend strong point of interest, come back up, tested supply, supply is still failing, and actually breaks supply, okay, and has a flip. So do we have a flip? Sorry, do we have flip inducement? I've got these the wrong way around really. Yep, so same details I just explained. We'll see these breakout, market breaking out, and there'll be a lot of orders and stops placed underneath the previous low. That's the thrill you want. So do we have flip inducement? Yes. Are we selling from a point of interest that created a 15-minute flip or above? Yes. So this is demand that basically broke supply serve, range flip, all the good stuff. And very important on 15-minute as well is, are we serving from an area that's swept liquidity? Okay, because if you haven't swept liquidity, you become the liquidity. Alright. So yeah, that's our 15-minute entry model, both pro and counter trend. Then once we see all this setting up, and we've had the inducement, we're kind of pulling back now into the extremity, this is where we're looking for our 1-minute entry model. Boom, boom. This is game time. So yeah, this will be our 15-minute point of interest. I should have done this on all the time frames really. That's this badger. Now here. And what we want to see is, again, like price actions fractal, yeah? We want to buy, so we want to see that demand is serving. We want to see that there's more demand than supply in the market. Now we're seeing that on the high time frame, whether it's pro trend or from a strong point of interest that's flipped. We're now seeing that on the 15-minute time frame, that demand is a broken supply serve. And now we just want to see it on the 1-minute time frame. And if we see that, then probability is on our side that buys are a go. Little additional cherry, the Asian sweep. We'll like to see this as well. So this would be like the Asian market, and we'll come down around London, after 7 AM, London Open. If we start seeing this kind of price action, it's even extra juicier, but it's not a must. It's just an additional cherry. So you'll see, on my entry criteria, the 1-minute entry model, do we have a minimum of 1-minute chock? Okay. Chock is basically a change of character, a change of trend. And the reason I had this 1 minute is because I have been aggressive in the past. This is more for me, that you see me go down to the seconds, and when I have like a real high probability or strong, high time frame 15-minute point of interest, sometimes I can get carried away on the seconds, and you'll see a big push in on the 1 minute. You'll see like a 30 seconds setup and flip and change of character and stuff, and then we'll get an entry, and all it does is it comes up to the previous high of the 1 minute and just continues the 1 minute trend short, does an extra sweep, and then goes. So I like a 1 minute chock. I want to see this minimum on the 1 minute change of character. But anyway, another little additional cherry would be that our liquidity is within our point of interest. You'll see supply coming down, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, test this level of supply, fail to break the low, and then demand break. Okay, and again, on this little breakout in the 1 minute, there'll be stops and orders below here. This is the inducement and the fuel. Now, sometimes price does go from here, or you can call these the decisionals. But again, I just learned to personally, I just go from the extremities every time to keep the probabilities in my favour. So do we have a minimum of 1 minute chock? Yes. Has there been a flip? Yeah, so suppliers had a chance to continue the trend here, but it's failed and then got broken. Have we swept liquidity? Yep. This is the bit where we would have swept this liquidity, ideally within our 15-minute point of interest. And do we have inducement? Do we have fuel for the move to come? Yeah, just flip inducement is ideal. We want it before the flip. Okay, then that's when price will be coming back into this area here, and we'll be hitting market execute. We should be flying to the moon, and yeah, our trade management will be going from there. Cool. Okay, so obviously it's going to be the same for supply. I am going to make a quick little video for supply as well, just to get eyes on from the other way. But that is what we're looking for in the trade to come. Hey up everyone, so we're going to break down the trade that I took yesterday. We were looking for buys. Fortunately this time we took a loss, took a lesson. There are a couple of little points to take away from this trade I feel, but it fit the edge, and we'll break it down now on the chart. So as per, we're going to start on the 15-minute to just mark out the low, because this is the next day, and that little cheeky wick there hadn't happened yet. Let me just hide that. So on the daily, we're just seeing nice demand range order flow with demand swing structure order flow. So the lows are holding, creating new highs, low is holding, creating new high, low is holding, creating a new high, and yeah, we're gonna be happy to continue this trend long until proven otherwise. Yeah, we were aware that we'll tap into a strong level of supply, which is this badger here, which should come down, tested a strong level of demand, swept liquidity, dropped inducement, and broke short. So yeah, this is a strong level of supply for sure that we're tapping, but we're not going to fight the trend until we actually see supply start breaking strong levels of demand, which we hadn't seen yet. So I'm happy to continue the trend long. 4 hour, there's a bit of attention to detail on the 4 hour coming up. But yeah, let's go for the ranges first. Still got my notes. So we have actually got a little bit of supply range order flow being created, but we're not really breaking any strong levels of demand yet. Okay, and we've still got demand swing structure, and we're in this demand point of interest that flipped this level of supply. This level is a bit substructure-y, right? But this level's not. This is a good extremity, and even though we've wicked above it, there's still a breakout. You know, it's still gone higher, still broken through this level of supply and this level of supply, and we swept inducement, right? And remember, it's a breakout, and then for it to be a sweep, we want to see it sweep and then break levels of demand, and it's not. This level of demand is holding to sync in with our daily demand order flow as well. And look, you can see that this hasn't actually been mitigated yet. We've swept, but there's still cleaner points of interest to mitigate above us. And yeah, I just thought, if we see our 15-minute entry model combined with our 1-minute entry model in this demand point of interest as holding, then we're happy to look for longs. And yeah, these notes, so this low here swept this low and broke previous high. Yeah. This low here swept this low and then broke the previous high. And then I just think, we've seen if we break this low, sweep, and then break the previous high. So that was the 4 hour plan, entry plan. And we're pro trend. Even got it still marked out as a nice point of interest. Okay, so lesson 1 for this trade is we haven't actually tapped into this. And I was looking at this and I was like, that's an aggressive tap. And we do actually have an additional cherry of, is our liquidity sweep within our point of interest? because it's not the first time we see this. Sometimes the first tap can be the liquidity to be swept to then continue our move, and I believe that's actually what ends up happening with this setup. But I play off the first tap, and we'll go back. We're sweeping all these lows, all this liquidity, so much liquidity, and this is the 15-minute point of interest we're playing from. And I'm not going to go into all of them, but can you see all these supply levels of what price is coming up, sweeping, failing, coming up, sweeping, mitigating these levels of supply, failing. And the reason I've got this major one here marked out is because it's been tested, failed. It's also linked in with our 4-hour point of interest. And see how this has come up, swept all this real nice liquidity, come down, failed to create a low. This was beautiful demand, order flow, mitigated this badger, pushed up, dropped inducement, nice inducement, and then this is what went on to break 4 hours of level. We're looking nice. So I really like this 15-minute point of interest. Flip inducement on 15-minute, yes, and it's on the 4-hour, yes. RE7 from a point of interest that created a 15-minute flip or above, 15-minute flip and above. RE7 from an area that swept liquidity. And let me move these points of interest away a little bit, because look at that, wick in, mitigate, go away, mitigate, and pushed up. So happy days. We will just go down to the 1 minute, because I'll show you one of the lessons here, where not only is it the first tab, so it can be a bit aggressive. This is our nice flip area. It would have been nicer to see it at least hit this decisional. I believe we actually end up going from the extremity down here, which is also clean price action. So I was aware that we weren't actually mitigating anything that clean on the 1 minute, but then most recent price action, sort of flips and the chocks we were getting, I was like, you know what, let's go for it. It's pro trend, let's be aggressive. I'm just going to pause and get up to our current price action. So here we are. I mean, we're not getting the Asian sweep. We actually swept long first, but what are we actually mitigating here supply wise? Not a lot. If anything, this is now just becoming a high to be swept. Come back down, and just got our sort of mitigation, if you like. Went down to the 1 minute, and I was almost happy with myself here because I was patient with. I'm just going to show you this one first, because here's our choc low, there's our high, change the character long, but I didn't like this break. It wasn't that strong, not as strong as a flip. We have got inducement, flip inducement. This is kind of ticking the boxes. This is an entry, but I didn't like how strong that's actually broken through. I wanted to wait for a bit more of a push. So if we actually took this back in time to here, excuse me, I'm smoking myself out with the morning incense again. You know what I'm like. And I couldn't cover the low either, and I was like, this is aggressive. And as I said, we hadn't really mitigated anything, bang on here. Not a clean enough push. I was like, no, too aggressive. And this was pretty nice though. Little tapping, mitigating, flipping, inducement, breaking. I thought if we come down into here, then I'll have a little butchers, and if I can cover the low, great. But if not, If it goes without me, it goes without me. And it kind of did. But yeah, once we got that push now, I was like, okay, demand is now kind of reacting, we're pushing off, and see, that's the 1 to 4. We would never have actually hit our 1 to 4 anyway, even if we did chase this trade. So yeah, this was fine to leave. Just want to show you that. A little bit, I should have taken more notice of this point of interest here, because look, this had flipped a few levels of demand. We'd now tapped it and coming back down, but I wasn't really paying attention to this. I was seeing that we had this inducement now with these double bottoms. We've had our chalk and our flip and our 15-minute and all the good stuff I've just talked about. And I thought if we tap into this point of interest here, I'm going to send it long and create more liquidity. Where is it? It was there. Went straight through me like that, and no messing around. It was at 22 minutes past 10. Price 656. Price 656. 22 minutes past 10, and yeah, went straight through, straight deeper into our nice point of interest here. And yeah, that was the loss. You know, 1 minute entry model. Do you have a minute with chalk? Yes. Yes. Swap liquidity? Yes. Flip inducement? Yes. Maybe the second lesson I could take away here. So not just that the first tap. Not only has it not. I mean, look, it's only a little bit. You know, but a little bit is a little bit. But our first tap is the liquidity in this case. And this flip, not really that strong. I know it flips more here, but I just prefer to see cleaner interactions from the flips of our point of interest, what we're playing from. You know what I'm saying? Like, this isn't really. You could almost look at that, but there was no inducement, so that is the inducement. Probably not explaining this very well, but I just feel, yeah, this whole kind of flip area and this extremity, what we're playing from, was this flipped inducement. Just, it's not jumping out at me. You know, I was kind of actually looking at this and just saying, well, it ticks the boxes and that's the edge. Doesn't matter how clean it looks, but you know, this is why I've got that picture perfect setup, what we showed at the beginning of this video, of like demand and supply and what we're actually looking for in our entry criteria. But it's not picture perfect. You know what I mean? The market looks different each trade. It's got the criteria, but it's only getting eyes on the market over periods of time and doing your back testing and experience with it that you start kind of identifying the clean entry setups and the quite aggressive choppy ones. I promise I'll get better at explaining these things, but this isn't that clean, not clean enough, and we can see, there it goes. Yeah, and I do want to touch on this. Yeah, I was patient, I was happy not to chase the trade, I became the liquidity, not clean enough demand order flow. Yeah, I was kind of on the computer all morning here. Yeah, which I kind of feel there's little bits for me sometimes, but still like feels, well, I've put in the hours, I kind of want to get paid. You know what I mean? This is set the alerts, go away, do different things. But yeah, I was literally just sitting here waiting for this to come back down and to get swept, which is quite a while really. From it's an hour. It's an hour just looking at the chart. Yeah, how clean is the 1 minute really? Yeah, okay, so after I took this loss, I'm still aware that this is a strong point of interest, and I liked the higher time frame narrative. So I was like, right, let's let's just hang around a little bit, and if we get a real clean 1 minute setup, it's not revenge trading. It's the plan. It's the H. All this is good, just not clean enough and well played market. It got us as liquidity. I'm waffling. Anyway, was it here? Yeah. I'm just going to mark it up. I'm not going to go into it because I don't take it. And yeah, we got the chalk low, chalk long. Didn't get a flip. I had this kind of marked out. I think it was about here anyway. Yeah, that's like 5:45. Body time. Sun was setting. I need my beach sunset walk. So I just left it. I thought just go away. If it goes now, it goes from now. Fine. But it would have been a loss. I was happy to not have been pushy and try and revenge trade and be like, no, this POI is right, high time frame is right. I got stung here. Now we've shot the liquidity. Let's be aggressive and get back into it. No trade. So I've got to take a little win away from myself there. Like, I believe the old me would have chased that. And then we end up going from the news release, I believe. So we're still in here, and then we have a Jolts news in New York. Over here. Well, shit. Sorry guys, just waffling on, but again, I want to give myself a little win here. This was a POI that held, and we wouldn't have called it anyway because we don't trade news. Boom. Off she goes. Should be nice. I've started doing this. I actually used to do this at the beginning of the week, just mark up every single news release what's coming the week, just because sometimes in Bali their web provider doesn't let me sign into my FTMO to check the news releases. So just to avoid that, now whenever I'm on the FTMO client area, I can get onto the economic calendar and I just mark them all out for the week, just in case, just to cover them. Anyway, don't need that one anymore. I believe, get away. Believe we end up we've had a nice push since then. So yeah, still happy with the high time frame narrative, still happy with the 15 minute. 1 minute execution was aggressive, but we can be aggressive on the lower time frame. And yeah, let's see what happens this week. It's the first week of May, and there's a lot of we just saw there a lot of news. So let's keep it nice and clean setups. Happy days. Cool. Cheers, guys. I'll see you on the next trade. See you later. Bye. And for the proof that we are actually taking these trades on our live accounts, here's our FTMO client area. So the actual live account itself mixed in with our FTMO challenge. If you want to go into detail, check out the figures. And then that's copied over onto our trade copier. So there's our live account there. Copied over to our FTMO challenge. And then also keeping our personal logs. If you haven't got this yet, Discipline Trainer, Legendary. Yeah, it's all logged here. We'll cover this a little bit now. You can start seeing, obviously, a couple of months into it now, we're collecting a bit of data. And you can start seeing, 10 to 11, maybe it's not the best time of day. We'll be extra cautious of when we're taking these trades. The best part of the day looks to be 9 till 10. Definitely best part of the day, that. Tuesdays, where we took this trade, not the best day. This could be days where you need to take extra caution or real high probability setups. Fridays look like a good day. Yeah, you're just starting to build data you know. Yeah. As long as we keep seeing this count growth like this, it's lovely. What should we got? Yeah, it's a great spreadsheet. This, the lad who made this is a genius. Very easy. You just fill in this page, and it does all the other charts and everything for you. So it's good to be aware of, especially after a while. We're only a few trades in. What, 28 trades? Sorry, 21 trades in. And already starting to collect some nice data to help optimize our trading. Anyway, so there's that bit. Thanks, guys. See you later.